Hey guys, what's going on? This is Aaron Linson with Linson Productions, and I have my wife with me. She runs her own channel called Miracle Marshmallows. Go and subscribe to that. You can just look it up, Miracle Space Marshmallows, and you'll find it. That's our vlogging channel, and also her channel.
And also subscribe to Linson Productions as well.
Yep. So we're going to cross-post this every week. What's going to happen is we are going to be talking about marriage stuff from a blindness perspective, what we've had to go through or having to go through, and what we might be going through as a married couple, because I believe that this is a topic that hasn't been touched, and I would like to touch it. So we encourage you guys
touch it. We can't see. Touch it. Sorry.
This is already starting off to a good start. We encourage you guys to comment and
ask any questions.
Ask any questions that you have. We are very open to responding to those. If you want to send them my way, you can. All the social links are going to be down below in the description, like they always are in Linson Production videos. What I'm going to try to do actually too is actually live stream this. So we are going to be working on that. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks, we will be working on that to get that to you to be a more interactive content. So we're going to be working really heavily on that, and all the content that Linson Productions provides. We're just going to be going straight out stuff this year, making more content so that you guys are going to be overwhelmed with it.
I also thought about making Miracle Marshmallows a Facebook account.
Yeah, we can do that.
Because I think, so those of you from Miracle Marshmallows as well, that way we can, because I said before, I said, I will never make a Facebook page. But the whole point is, like, why not? Because, I can just have that YouTube Facebook page, and perhaps it'd bring in some more people, and then I can post the videos on there. Because I'm not going to post the videos on my personal Facebook page, because people in my family already watch them, and that's just not what I want to do. So anyway, sorry to interrupt you. I wanted to get that out before I forgot that thought. Anyways.
No, you're good.
So
what I might end up doing is, actually what I probably will end up doing is, I have a MacBook Pro sitting on my desk, and I'll probably write down some of what we're going to be talking about in the next week, and having that with me on the side so that I remember what we're going to be talking about. But in this week's video, what do we even call this? I don't remember.
We can just call it video. I mean, because mine's...
Well, I know, but in this week's video...
I think we should call it like a series, maybe.
Yeah.
Marriage series, kind of.
Yeah, in this series...
or maybe blind series, I don't know.
I'm going to actually put these in a playlist. So once we come up with a title for these, I'm going to put this in a playlist on my YouTube channel, and it's going to be there. I'm also going to put them up on the website as well. So if
then you can just go up on Miracle Marshmallows, whatever.
Yeah, right. If you go to linksproductions.com and you go down to the videos link, you'll see all of our videos plus these as well. So we're excited about this. This is actually my idea.
It was his idea. He brought it up to me like 5 days ago.
Yep.
And we've been talking about it all week and trying to brainstorm and figure it out. And every Friday...
Well, either every Friday if I don't have to work, because I do work at Chick-fil-A.
Well, I mean, we can do it during the daytime, though.
Right, but I'm saying either every Friday or the weekend we're recording.
Or over the weekend, that's true.
And it will get uploaded for that week.
Friday or Saturday, because you do work during the week, and it would make it easier on you.
Right.
We discussed, Aaron actually came up with this idea. I'm not gonna, we're not gonna dig deep right now, but we want to talk about how is being a blind couple and being married, but we also want to talk about marriage regardless, because whether you're blind or you're sighted or you're whatever, a lot of people obviously in this world get married. Now, we're gonna kind of do a more intro video today, so we're gonna dig a little deeper next week. We don't want to get real deep right now. We just kind of want to introduce ourselves and tell you a little bit about each of us individually, and then we'll go from there. So I'll let Aaron start.
And as this series becomes more and you guys look at it more and interact with us more. This is driven by your questions and your
Yes.
content.
Yes.
So we're gonna take what we can from those comments, and we're going to make videos on that kind of stuff. So please interact. Please follow,
Share, comment.
share, comment, subscribe, leave comments in the comment section. Follow me on Twitter. Reply to me there. Call the hotline for Lens Productions, email us and whatever, and we will get to everything that we can. We would love to have a running list of topics, because then that makes us make more videos for you guys on both the channels. So with that housekeeping stuff out of the way, what we're going to do is, obviously, like Ashley said, is talk about our backgrounds. So I was born and raised in Louisville, Kentucky, and I am legally blind. Cannot see out of the left eye at all. Can only see a little bit out of the right. Enough to be dangerous with it, enough to kind of use magnifier on a computer and do video editing like we're doing with the Medical Marshmallows channel and my channel and all that. So I grew up going to the school for the blind from my
Middle.
7th grade year of middle school all the way through high school. Ended up getting my Eagle Scout there, which I'm very proud of. And then went to college, or attempted to go to college in West Virginia. Stuff happened there. Got a guide dog. Turned around, came back to Kentucky.
Tell them how you stalked me on Facebook.
Yeah, stalked her on Facebook. No, I didn't stalk her on Facebook.
We already knew each other. I'll tell that part of it if you want
Talked
to.
on Facebook. Talked through AIM, which is now dead.
Gosh, that is so weird. That makes me feel so old.
But
Talk through Messenger.
So did that. Came down to Kentucky. Got into IU Southeast. Up in New Albany, Indiana, as that went on from there. My parents got divorced when I was 12, so I went through all of that. I understand all of that, and I would love to help people going through that, or who are have gone through that, haven't let go of it. Experiencing it, have experienced it, haven't even let go of it, because it is very hard to do. It is very hard to tell yourself, even after, 15 plus years or whatever, however long it's been for me.
It took you like 20 years.
To let go of it myself, and realize that
it's not your fault.
It's not my fault. Nothing was my fault, and that I don't have to give in to what's still going on with the family that I have. You still have to love the family that you have. You don't have to deal with the crap that they do. Let's just put it that way.
We're getting real. This is real stuff.
So that happened. But I did graduate with my bachelor's degree in music.
Yay.
With concentration in audio production and a minor in communications. I do now work at Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A!
Part-time.
Sorry.
I did work at Amazon, and we can go into that as well. But what we're really here to do is to help you guys, the people that are thinking about getting married, the people that have been married but are going through things, the people that are wanting to get married but are staying together and don't really know what to do or how to do it. Whether you're blind, like I actually said, whether you're blind or sighted,
Marriage
we
is
feel
marriage.
like we can offer a lot. And again, this is driven by you guys, so we really
Go check this real quick.
want to do this
Oh, never mind.
and all that. And so again, it's driven by your guys' comments, suggestions, what you guys are looking for, what you guys are looking towards, what you guys are wanting to do, what you guys haven't done, what situations you guys are going through, so that we may be able to provide some wisdom, because we've been through
a whole lot as a
ourselves.
young couple.
So,
but we also, if you have any suggestions or wisdom, we ask that from
Right.
older people,
Right.
older, wiser people as well, because, we do have a lot to offer. And we feel like also, while people are older and wiser, and we do respect them a whole lot, that doesn't mean that a 25-year-old, which we're not 25, we're a little older than that, but I'm just saying, it doesn't mean that like a 25-year-old can't give an 80-year-old woman some advice and help them with life, So we're just there for that.
well, and also too, I'm also going to say too that we're going to be transparent with you. So if there's something going on that we're struggling with, we're going to tell you that, and we want the same kind of feedback from you guys. So I will say that I am 28. Ashley can.
I'm 31. Sorry,
I was
go
going to say
ahead.
divulge her
I
age
didn't know if you were
if she
expecting.
wants to.
Okay, go ahead.
But she already did, so that's that
Sorry.
cat's out of the bag. She's 31. She will be 32 February 28th. So.
Yay!
That's that. But we do want to be really transparent with you guys. I feel that Lynch Productions, especially as a company, we don't want to, because we are an LLC, we do not want to be non-transparent
I'll be right.
with you guys.
Can we and we're gonna pause you guys really quick. My phone's blowing up. I'm so sorry. That's the real.
So we just want to be as transparent as possible with you guys, so that you guys feel the same way with us. So, is there anything else that?
Well, you told
wanna
about
add?
yourself. I really didn't.
Well, okay, yeah. So you go ahead and tell them about yourself.
Okay. So, I am. So I went to school at Atherton High School, and I was in the choirs and there, and I went on tour to Canada. Oh my gosh, Canada and the Bahamas, and I actually I did date someone for like 5.5 years. And it was like one of those situations where you date someone in high school and you think you're going to marry them, and either some people do or they don't. That's just how it goes. In my case, I didn't. I'm saying thankfully because I love Aaron very much. But what the deal was with that was, so I was a very independent student and person. I use a white cane. I knew how to get around my school. I didn't let my blindness stop me from doing anything. I have ROP, which is retinopathy of prematurity. So I can't see anything beyond light and shadows. Like running your hand over my face, I can see that. I can see like things without details. So basically I'm blind. But so after high school, I went through a period of I'm sick of school, I don't want to go to school anymore. Because when you're blind sometimes, not sometimes, most of the time, you have to work harder to get what sighted people get. You can still have the same results, but you have to work 10 times harder. And some things also take longer than others. Math being one of them. So I went a couple extra years of school. Because there was so much that they had me in. Orientation, mobility lessons, Braille lessons, just all that kind of therapies and stuff like that. So, that was my background with school. Graduated at Atherton. I loved it. I then, at the time, I thought I wanted to be a choir director. I always knew I wanted to do something with music, but I loved choir, which is why I wanted to be a choir director. Which really isn't a good reason to want to be a choir director, but it was good that I loved singing and I loved choir. So I went to IUS and I did all my general eds, and Aaron and I were dating at the time, and I'm going to kind of go forwards and then backwards a little bit. Just talk about me a little bit. So before Aaron and I were dating, I did take a music class at IUS. I took a voice music class. And the teacher there, she was amazing and wonderful, and literally was like, you need to try out for the music program. And I was like, okay. The reason I turned it down was because I wasn't ready to go to school full time at the time. I had support as a blind person. I had support, but I didn't feel like I had enough support alone on my own to go live on my own. Like, I just wasn't ready to do that. I just got out of high school. I was not ready to just up and leave. Aaron's situation is a little different. He was the oldest in the family, and I was the baby. So, like, some people may have thought that I was babied, but I promise you that's not the case. Like, I could do whatever I wanted. If I would have said, yeah, I want to go live in the dorm, they would have been like, all right, see ya. I mean, it wouldn't have been quite like that. But anyways, so I took this music class, and I enjoyed it a whole lot. But I didn't, so after a few years, you can turn off voiceover if you want.
Mm-hmm.
So after a few years, I decided to try out for music school. And this was in 2014, November of 2014, because Aaron and I had just gotten married a few months before then. And so I tried out. At the time, I tried out as a music therapist. Well, I understood what a music therapist was, but I really didn't understand the full basis of that. And again, I wanted to do something musical, but I didn't want to be a choir director anymore at this point. Like, I wear hearing aids. I've been through, hearing loss, and I was like, you know what? It's not fit. And I came up with this on my own. If you're a choir director, by the way, you better teach your students sight reading. And I was like, well, it's not going to be fair if I can't teach them how to sight read. I don't want to be one of those choir directors that say, I can't teach you how to sight read because I'm blind. I can teach blind people how to read Braille music, but you're not going to get a choir of 24 blind students. And so I just didn't feel like that was very fair. I feel like I can get people together and sing, but it doesn't have to be in a school educational choir. So I dismissed that idea. Then I learned a little bit about music therapy, and I was like, that's not my path. Then after a couple years of, Ashley, seriously, think about what you're doing. I had a great professor. Aaron and I both had him, but he's amazing. Was like, look, I know you don't want to hear this, but I really think you'll have a better chance of getting in if you try out for music business. I was like, music business? Like, okay, I know nothing about that. I don't even know how to write a paper about music business. I just don't know. And he was like, I promise you, just do it. And so I did. So, November of 2016, I got the courage and I auditioned again, re-auditioned again, because I didn't make it the first time, which I didn't really expect to anyways, but I made it. I made it. I was so excited. I was so happy. So now, fast forward, I'm not in school anymore. No, I did not graduate. Again, I'm just going to be really honest with you. Has nothing to do with the school, has nothing to do with my teachers, nothing to do with anything. What happened was, and I can still say that I rejoiced the day that I made it. I will never forget the day that he said, you made the music school. And, some of you might be like, why in the crap did you not go with that? Listen, like I said, when you're blind and you have to work harder than others, sometimes you have to do different things to get where you need to be. So, Aaron graduated last year, and basically we both couldn't stay in the dorm, which we really didn't want to anymore anyway. We were grateful for it while we had it because they were great college memories that we have. But, wouldn't you say we're ready for our bed? We're ready for our bed, we're ready for more space, ready for Aaron to get his studio going, his business going. We were just sick and tired of living in a dorm with, and I'm not trying to be critical when I say this, but when you're 31 and you're married and you're an adult, you don't want to deal with a bunch of 18-year-old drama in college. Sick and tired of that. So, I started school this year as a music business major, but I only went for 2 weeks. And basically, we don't live in the state of Indiana. Our transportation was very limited due to the fact that the TARC 3 doesn't come to our house. The other transportation issues, or other transportation, what do you call them? Offers? Whatever. Lyft or Uber, they not realistic to be able to pay for them every day to go to school. And also with me, I'm a wheelchair user. I can obviously not use my wheelchair at a lot of places, but back in actually the semester that Aaron was graduating, I got really sick with seizures. I don't want to go into that too much because everyone already knows about that now. Well, I won't say that, but if you want to know, check out Miracle Marshmallows and you'll know why. But anyway, after being so sick last semester, and this is why I was even extra proud of Aaron. Like, he was graduating, he was by my side through every single seizure, everything. This is the part of marriage that I want to mention. Like, this, through sickness and in health, like, he was there. We had to sleep together on a twin-size bed, and I'm not trying to be graphic, I'm being real, like, in a dorm. He never complained about that. I mean, that always amazed me how. So, my story's really hard to stop telling, so I'm really going to try to finish it really soon. But basically, you know, I now volunteer at visually impaired preschool services. I did not drop my classes until I was reassured there was a position there, a volunteer position there. Now, obviously, I would love to have a job there, and that's not out of the question. Like, in the future, I know that God will provide. I can't go into detail about this, but I know it's going to happen. And when it does, I'll let you guys know. It might take some time, but just like any internship you go through in college, I never did that. So I feel like for me, this is kind of it, but a little different. So I get to work alongside of a music therapist, and I get to help blind and visually impaired kids learn music and learn the social skills, and I get to do a lot of other things besides just music. So that's amazing, because VIPS, it's called VIPS. VIPS is like my second home growing up. My mom worked there when I was a child, and literally, like, it was just my second home. It's like a family. And Aaron's a part of that family. And honestly, Aaron was my mom's first VIPS child when she decided to work at VIPS. And actually, I don't know if you know this, but my grandma was the one who told her about VIPS. She found out about it and was like, you need to check out this place.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because when I was born, I went blind shortly after birth, and they were like, how do we help this blind child? And my grandma was like, she did some research, and she was like, I know about this place called Visually Impaired Preschool Services. You need to check it out. And my mom did, and she didn't know. She also, not only did she get help from me as a blind baby, but she got a job there. She started off volunteering there, and then she got a job there because she loved it. So, why do I tell all this? I know it's a bunch of rambly different things. However, I was so independent growing up, and even now, that like in the college years, I did struggle a little bit with self-confidence when I graduated high school. I didn't see that coming. I became depressed a little bit. Not the kind of depressed where you like, you know, in danger. Depressed in the fact that I didn't know what to do. I was dating someone at the time, but it was kind of like on and off, and it wasn't very fun. And you know, some of my friends were still in high school behind me, so like I didn't have a real life. Like I did, but not really, because I wasn't going to school, and I wanted to be with people I knew, with my friends. And I think that's okay for anybody who's blind and not blind. But especially if you are blind, you do need a little bit more of a support system. Because when you're blind, you have to go through things that sighted people can't even imagine. Just like I can't imagine what it's like for a sighted person to try to get a job being a teacher, or getting a car, or paying off a car. I don't know what those things are like. But there are several things that blind people have to go through that this is not a pity party at all. This is just educational. Like, blind people have to go through so many things that other people cannot even imagine. And I don't want you to spoon feed me. I don't want you to hold my hand, up and down every hill. But I do want you to understand. And so, I struggle with that. I was like, okay, well, if I'm ever going to get married, the person can just come to me because I'm tired of running after people. I had people calling me, and they were blind, and I was like, just because you're blind doesn't mean I want to date you, And it was like, I prayed. I just finally started praying, and I was like, God, who? It was really funny. I always tell Aaron this story. I loved music, so I prayed for someone who loved music. I prayed for someone who loved God. First and foremost, I prayed for someone with a guitar. At the time, I had this obsession of, I love singing with people with guitars. And then Aaron came along, and he's like, yeah, I play guitar, mandolin, bass, I sing, piano, and I was like, hold up, what? So, basically, every time I would break up with this other person, I would get random Facebook messages from Aaron, and I finally I finally decided to accept it, and we started dating. And what I always thought was very interesting too is for the longest time before Aaron came, I struggled with who's seriously gonna like me. There were people who were like, ooh, I like her, this and that, but I'm like, first of all, you can't even see me. And secondly, if you can, are you liking me for the right person? Because what is on the outside of me, also on the inside of me, is something totally different. You look at the outside and the inside of a person. And so what I really appreciate about Aaron is, after we've been dating for a month, he was like, oh, by the way, babe, and he was living in West Virginia at the time. He was talking to me on the phone. I remember this. He's like, by the way, babe, I'm just wondering, how much can you see? And I was like, I'm pretty much blind. Is that okay? And he's like, yeah, I was just wondering. I couldn't tell. He's like, I was just wondering. No problem with me. And I was going to obviously be honest with him, but with not being around each other, our moms knew each other growing up. I mean, it's because he was a Vip's kid, that's why. But we didn't really know about each other's eyes or how much we could see. So when I had to tell him that, at first I was like, well, no, he thinks I can see some, I do wear glasses. I'm not wearing it in this video, but I do wear glasses. They don't help me see print, but I'll get into that later. But I was like, oh no, I have to tell him I can't see. But then he was like, oh no, it's okay. It's totally fine. Nothing changed that. And I will never, ever, ever forget. One night we were on the phone and he continued to tell me he was like, I'm just very happy. I can't believe I'm with such a beautiful girl. And I was like, stop it. Not really, but I've never been treated so kind in a relationship like that. That was my first real, I guess you could say my first relationship was high school, but my first real serious I love you for real relationship was then. You can say I love you all day in high school, but everybody knows what that means, okay? So, he really brought my self-confidence up a whole lot because, yes, he's legally blind, but just for the fact that he can see some, knowing that my blindness, my cerebral palsy, my hearing impairment, my heart condition, doesn't matter what it's been, has never held him back from loving me. And I don't want him to get embarrassed, but he's on treatment as well for epilepsy. And I remember one day he told me, oh, by the way, I have seizures. And I was like, oh, you do? Okay, just let me know what I do if you have one. And he's like, well, I don't want to hit you. I was like, okay, well, a seizure is a seizure, you can't help that. So basically, through marriage, we have learned, and I'll let Aaron speak too, but we have learned, and we'll get in more as we do more of these videos, we've learned through every challenge you face, big or small, you face it together, head on, because you can't do it alone. You can't do it alone. You need God there with you. You need God in the center of your marriage, and you need to be there for each other. Whether it's like, physically, or if you're, say, there were doctor's appointments I had to go to that he could not attend because of school and work at the school when I was getting, I got my EEG done. I was not upset about that. I totally understood, because I was like, no, babe, it's fine. You have to do what you have to do. And he still would send me those text messages, what did they say? And I was like, I'm on my way back, but he would always call and I would let him know. So we've learned, and we haven't always learned the easy way, but we have both learned a lot about each other, and we've learned to be there for each other, however that may be. And to Aaron, I just want to say that I love him so, so much, because, I feel like with everything I've gone through, it's okay. They just, I feel like everything I've gone through, there are times I felt like a burden, and he has, told me over and over again how, it's not. And when, again, relationships before, I did have a relationship when I was out of high school, and when I was in the hospital, I didn't have that support. I had it from my family, but when you think that someone loves you and they don't, I'm just saying. And then someone who does, and they're like, I don't care if I have to get up at 3 a.m. and go to the hospital. Not that that's what we want, but that's been part of our life. And I never, ever, ever want to be one of those blind people who says, I can't do this for you because of this challenge or because of this challenge. I would never be that person. Ever. And Aaron has been that husband that we have been through many ups and downs and things that we'll get into later, but at the end of the day, he is there for me. I'm there for him, and I just hope that I can be half the person that he is to me. Marriage is amazing. It's not easy all the time, but it is wonderful. I'm not gonna lie. It's wonderful, and it brings tears of joy to me, and I couldn't be more grateful, and I thank God that for Aaron as my husband.
I also think too that marriage is different than just saying, well, we live together.
Right.
Yes, if you are living together, that's your choice, and you can say, yes, we're close. Fine. I'm not going to argue that. But what I will argue with is, I think there is a close, even more closeness that I just made up.
No, I think it's
that
close knit,
you
maybe.
feel more of when you're married. You're actually tied to that person.
Mm-hmm.
Where if you're just living with somebody and
You think
you're doing the same
Mm-hmm.
things married people do, you really, you or the other person can break it off with no explanation, no nothing. With marriage, you've got that person to deal with, plus 2 other parties
to deal with. You have to deal with me.
Well, I'm saying anyway.
I know, I'm just kidding.
So, that's where I want to leave it for this video. You can subscribe to Miracle Marshmallows by searching it on YouTube. Please do. Please also subscribe to Lens Productions. You can also contact us with all the details down below in the video description. We will see you guys in the next one.
And thank you so much for watching.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.